You ask me on Sundays, hey, what were your best bets? And I never remember.
I don't care. Let me just tell you, I really don't care about best bets. I really don't care.
Since I won?
Yeah, you care
Since
now.
I won?
Right.
I do care.
Yeah, right.
I do care. I care again this week, baby, even though I had to look up the email from Pete that has all the picks and at the bottom of the best bets. I had forgotten my best bets. My best bets were better than yours last week, 2-1 to 2-1. We don't have to talk about any of the other stuff. Let's just talk about the best bets. Forget straight up. Forget against the spread. Although you did extremely well straight up. Straight up my butt.
That's right.
14-2.
Yep.
I mean, I was pretty good at 11-5. I've been hovering around 500 for multiple weeks. But we disagreed on 5 games, and you hit on 4 of them. Man, some of them were close, too. I thought the Cardinals were going to pull it out for me. I thought the Broncos would win. I was feeling pretty good about all 5, and there it goes. And there we are, for those of you who haven't seen it. That is something that was created by a PFT Live viewer inspired by our latest TikTok dance, which was
really good.
A recreation of the classic Peanuts Christmas special. We each accepted one of the roles of one of the kids dancing, and it worked out incredibly well. Mackenzie did an awesome job of putting it together with the corresponding clip from the cartoon, and I just loved it. I loved it. And I mean, I've heard from people about it. They love it. People watching it over and over again. It really turned out well. Steve Kornacki playing the piano, the football-shaped piano. It really, really was well done. It was a lot of fun. But someone I assume, I hate AI except when I like it. Put that back up. I like what they did. They have Chris doing the move that he was doing in the dance, and they have me doing the move. My hair is not that gray yet. It's getting there. It is a somewhat reasonable approximation. It's kind of like a guy with white hair who also has porcupine quills growing out of his scalp. But regardless,
very
I thought it was
Charlie
extremely
Brown.
well done. Everything about it was fun. That was just one of those.
Yeah.
It was very good. Very good.
It was really good.
Make
All right.
Chris Simms look like he's in a Charlie Brown's cartoon.
No doubt. It was awesome. It was. Wait, our other disagreements last week, right? I know that you hit on the Tennessee Titans over the Chiefs. I took the Chiefs in a close one there, right? But what were the other ones that are just off the top of my head? Did you take the Jets over the Saints? Did you do that one? No. Okay.
No. I took the Bengals.
Right.
I took the Bengals over the Dolphins. I took the Bucks over the Panthers.
You took the Dolphins over the Bengals. Right.
I took the I took the Bucks over the Panthers, the Broncos over the Jaguars, and the Cardinals over Kirk Cousins. Because every time this year they've had a big primetime win, they've shat the bed the next week.
Right.
And they didn't.
Yeah.
Because they had never played the Cardinals coming off of a primetime win. That was the one factor that I had neglected to consider. Playing the Cardinals avoids the bed shatting for the Atlanta Falcons. So I had a 9-game lead straight up 2 weeks in, and now you're up 6. This is a 15-game swing in 15 weeks.
Pretty good.
Which is very bad for me. Very good for you.
I got to catch you on best bets,
and you got me against
the
spread, too.
We'll
7-8-1 for me.
We'll see. It's going to be a good one. It's going to come down to the wire like it always does. So that's going to be fun. It's somehow the last 3 years it's been very tight as we've gotten into the playoffs here, and it looks like it might happen once again.
I've got some ground to make up the next 2 weeks of the regular season because there aren't many games after the regular season ends. There aren't many chances to disagree. We got 32 regular season games left, and then the postseason arrives, which is what, 13? Is it 13 games? I forget now with Super Wild Card Weekend. It's 6 the first round, 4 the second round, 2, and then 1. It's 13 games after the regular season ends. All right. So this is the Chris Simms Unbuttoned PFTPM Joint Megapicks podcast. Good morning to the audience that usually watches PFT Live. You get this instead. It was taped on Tuesday. This is the first time ever we've made our picks for a full slate of games that start 2 days from now and continue 5 days from now, with the last game 6 days from now. But you know what? It's not like I've been doing a great job having 2 extra days before it's time to make the picks, so what the hell? Let's just see what happens, and let's figure it out. And what we're doing first is the Christmas games. We have 3 games on Christmas. I'm glad we're doing picks because that's the only reason I have to watch the games. Other than it's my job. I mean, I feel bad for the NFL. I'm sure they thought, oh, these are going to be great games, and I thought they were going to be great games. Although I thought the Vikings might not deliver. I didn't know the Lions were going to not deliver. Yeah. The Cowboys and the Commanders are both
the Chiefs
done, and the Chiefs,
right?
The Chiefs have imploded,
right?
And they're moving, and the people of Missouri are probably thinking, "Good." I'm kidding, but it has not been a good year for the Chiefs. All right, so let's do the Christmas Day games, and we start with the early game. It'll be on Netflix. It is the 6-8-1 Cowboys at the 4-11 Commanders. The Cowboys are favored by 6.5 with an over/under of 50, 0.5. 93% of the spread money is on the Dallas Cowboys. Do you see them covering the 6.5-point spread?
Well, I think it's close. I mean, what we don't know, and I mean, as I sit here right now on a Tuesday, is I go, I'm not expecting Marcus Mariota to start, right, or play. I don't know if you've heard anything there as far as more information, but that certainly takes things to a different level in how you look at the football game. If Mariota was going to play, I'd sit here and go, I think Washington might be able to beat Dallas. Washington's defense has been a little bit better as of late, as we know, and Mariota, of course, can run the offense. Maybe not to the same extent Jaden Daniels, but they, as we saw last week, I mean, before he got hurt, the Eagles were on the ropes a little bit. You were going, is this going to be one of these days where it's Washington's going to pull off the upset against a sleeping Philadelphia Eagles football team? But because I don't know the quarterback situation, and I do think Dallas is not going to just chalk it up. I do think they're looking, and Brian Schottenheimer, as far as just, hey, we're still trying to build for the future and what we are there. And I certainly don't think Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and George Pickens are going to chalk it up either. So with all that said, and the unknown of the quarterback position and what's going on with Washington there, I'm going to go Dallas here, 27-20. I got them barely covering the spread.
I got another touchdown for the Cowboys, 34-20. You got George Pickens playing for a contract, Dak Prescott in a standalone spot, and who knows what the numbers are going to be. Last year, the record for streaming was set by the Texans-Ravens game at 24.3 million. The early game, Chiefs-Steelers did 24.1 million. And I know the Nielsen measurement has changed. They do a better job of capturing out-of-home viewing, and Christmas would be a day when there's plenty of that. But, man, I don't know how compelling this one's going to be for the folks who are sitting around, in the afterglow of opening their can of Simonized and bowling ball and whatever other presents.
Yeah, this is going to be like a little background.
I remember last year it was like, whoa, Chiefs Steelers.
Right.
Whoa, Chiefs Steelers. Hey, turn it on. This year it's going to be like, oh yeah, I think there's a football game on. But still, it's the Cowboys and their national draw, and people love to watch them play, whether they're rooting for them or against them. But 34-20 for me, but who the hell knows? I agree with you. I don't think we're going to see Mariota. He's got multiple injuries. He's listed with a right hand and a quadricep. I remember when he got injured on Saturday, they weren't even sure what the injury was. It's like, is it this? Is it that? Is it this? So I agree with you. It's going to be Josh Johnson, who I am amazed is still in the NFL. It just shows you how hard it is to find competent quarterbacks in today's NFL. 34-20. Cowboys.
Josh Johnson played with me in Tampa. If you want to know how old he is, he played with me in Tampa, right? He got drafted my last year in Tampa Bay, and it is incredible. He's still playing. Also, quick question before we move on. Why is Jaden Daniels even on the injury report? Like, does they have to put him on? I mean, I think they are. Didn't they already state it's done for the year? Like, they're not going to bring him out? I'm surprised that I've seen that this week.
That's a good question, because only if you're on injured reserve do you exit the report. So apparently he's not on injured reserve, which is a waste of a roster spot if he's not going to play, if he's done for the year, unless they're just using him as the emergency quarterback. But if you get down to quarterback number 3 and you're already eliminated, just have a running back hand the ball off over and over again. You're not going to put Jaden Daniels back out there in garbage time of a game where you've lost your two quarterbacks, but maybe he's going to be the backup to Josh Johnson on Thursday. We'll see how that plays out. All right, Lions at the Vikings. The Lions are 8-7. I know that's true. It's still hard to say the Lions are 8-7. The Vikings are 7-8. The Vikings are already eliminated from playoff contention. The Lions will be eliminated with a loss or a Packers win against the Ravens on Peacock, exclusive game Saturday night. The Lions need to win this one. 86% of the spread money is on the Lions, who are favored by 6. 44.5 over under. We don't know if J.J. McCarthy is going to play. My guess would be he's not, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
the hand injury looked painful. X-rays were negative. They were going to do an MRI. They don't have to tell us anything more than whether or not he practiced and what the injury is, and we already know what the injury is. It looks like it's going to be start number 2 for Max Brosmer, who wasn't as bad as he was against the Seahawks
there was
when
progress.
he played on Sunday against the Giants.
Right.
But still, this is the Lions. It's a home game. Like for the Vikings, like they got 2 home games to finish a lost season. They can play spoiler against the Lions. I don't know how much motivation you get from that. I don't know how the short week factors into it. I don't know how the distractions of Christmas week factor into it. But you got one team that's out of it, and you got the other team that's playing for something. I think that may be a factor as we get ready for this one.
Yeah, I mean, yes, right, but I would sit here and tell you that, like we talked about last week, and why I made Minnesota one of my best bets, and I feel like I would have been fine if J.J. McCarthy just stayed in the football game, was that Minnesota is still trying to play for something, but the J.J. McCarthy thing, puts a huge, kibosh on everything. I don't know where that's going to go. If J.J. McCarthy was playing and healthy, I would think about taking Minnesota for the upset, even though there's nothing there. Minnesota's defense is a pain in the butt. They are the ones that started the whole, we're going to find ways to pressure Jared Goff up the middle and make him move off the spot. And then everybody started to copy that a little bit week by week. We know Flores is going to have a good game plan. He's one of the few people that's been able to at least slow down Detroit over the last few years in certain moments. Detroit, we know, plays man-to-man. And with J.J. McCarthy and Justin Jefferson, those receivers, you'd go, well, I like that. Just like the plays you saw Aaron Rodgers and company make last week. But I just don't trust Max Brosmer. I don't. I'm going to kind of protect myself a little bit. Like, I feel like the Lions win easily if it's Max Brosmer. If it's J.J. McCarthy and he's not 100%, right, I still think I'm going to take the Lions. I have a hard time, like you said, believing that he's going to be able to grip the ball and control it the way he wants to just 4 days after hurting his hand pretty badly. I'm going to go 27-17, Detroit Lions in this one.
I got 27-20 Detroit Lions, so we both have the Lions covering. Look, if the Lions don't win this one, their problems go far deeper than not having Ben Johnson. If they can't, with the talent they have, if they can't win this one and stay alive for playoff contention, they've got some bigger questions to answer in the offseason than who's going to run the offense next year so Dan Campbell can go back to running the team. I think they win this one. They got reason to be a little salty. They can feel like they can, even though both calls at the end of the game were accurate, they could have won that game. That game was there for them to have. They made the Steelers' offense look as good as it ever has, not just this year, but ever. And I think they're going to be ready for this one. It could be worse than 27-20, but I just don't know because if we see J.J. McCarthy, I think it'll be closer. All right, Christmas night. This is the one that you circled back in May when the schedule came out. This is the winner. This is the one where both teams are going to be in it. They're going to be maybe vying for the division title, maybe vying for the number 1 seed. The Broncos are the team that is. The Chiefs, for the first time in a very long time, since 2012, are just playing out the string. Broncos 12-3, Chiefs 6-9. Broncos favored in Arrowhead Stadium, which the Chiefs will leave in 2031 for Kansas for a new dome stadium. 12.5-point favorites, 36.5 over under. 91% of the spread money is on the Broncos. They clinched the West with a win and a Chargers loss against the Texans. I know you like the Broncos. The question is, how ugly is this one going to get?
Yeah, I expect it to be ugly. First off, I want to say it is sad to see they're moving to Kansas. And it's sad to see one of the great outdoor football teams in the NFL now going to be relegated to dome football. All the great games we've watched in the elements with Kansas City and how great it looks on TV and it's football being football, we're going to go back to a fucking dome and play on plastic grass. That's not good for the players. Okay, so I hate that shit and it bothers me.
Merry Christmas.
All right, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy fucking Hanukkah. Here we go, all right? Let's go, all right? That's one of my favorite scenes. And Christmas Vacation, remember when he does that? Remember he does Merry Christmas, kiss his ass, ass, kiss his ass, kiss yours ass, happy Hanukkah. You know, he says that whole thing. It's pretty good. It's one of my favorites. But Broncos are going to dominate this football game. They'll be angry, right? They're going to be pissed off about the way, they lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars last week. And this is a Kansas City Chiefs team that feels like they're not emotionally invested. You could kind of feel it watching the Tennessee Titan game the other day. There's nothing to believe in, and certainly nothing to believe in, one, without Mahomes there. Then you had, hey, Gardner's pretty cool. He'll lead us, and, hey, it'll be a fun game. Gardner's a good personality. Now you don't have him. So you go into a game, and you're in a preparation, short week, Christmas. You've won all these Super Bowls. You've been to the Super Bowl. This type of game, this is the type of game a locker room like Kansas City is like, man, let's hurry up this season and get it over with. 28-10 Broncos.
30-10 Broncos, and I think there's a chance it could get uglier. You see some of these blowouts. It's just hard to pick a blowout. You never know when they're going to happen, but they will. This one's going to be ugly, I think. This is an opportunity for the Broncos to just process some of their decade of frustration with the Chiefs. Like, they're not going to go easy on the Chiefs. They've been waiting to beat the Chiefs. They finally beat them back, earlier this year in Denver. They're going to stomp them. Sean Payton is going to want to destroy the Chiefs. They're going to want to demoralize the Chiefs into next year. They want them to think, man, we got to deal with this team now. They are the new bullies of the block. They are the team that's going to come in here on a regular basis and beat us the way we used to go in there and beat them. So 30-10. Broncos win. It could get a lot worse than that, and the Broncos, still trying to get the number 1 seed in the AFC, and they have, even though they lost that game, and I'm surprised they did to the Jaguars, they have everything in front of them, and they're not going to let this one get in their way. All right, let's break here. When we return, we have one best bet each for the Christmas games. We'll figure it out in the break, just like Judge Wapner when he used to say, I'll be back in 5 minutes. We'll be back in less than 5 minutes with our best bets. Chris Simms Unbuttoned, PFTPM Joint Megapicks Podcast, Christmas edition, Christmas games, 3 of them.
Whoop, whoop.
We've already made our picks.
Whoop,
now
whoop.
it's time to make our best bet. One best bet each. I struggled with this one a little bit. I went back and forth between 2 of them. I'll just go ahead and hold on to the baton here. I was going to go Lions, but the J.J. McCarthy thing
scares you a little.
Has me
up
in the air.
I hear you.
Because I think they could cover. I think the Lions win, but could the Vikings cover the 6.5? And then I think about Josh Johnson starting for the Commanders against the Cowboys. Dak Prescott determined to finish the season on a high note. Matt Eberflus clearly coaching for his job. The decision may already be made by Jerry Jones, but if he's ever going to show up and put a good defense together, and if those guys are ever going to respond to try to save his ass, it's now. I think the Cowboys covered the 6.5.
Yeah, I do. So that's when you're going to go with? You're going to go with the Cowboys?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I like it. I know it's we didn't have any disagreements, but I would sit here, and this is where it stinks too. Not only are the matchups not that great, we got unlucky, but I feel like we had a chance here for 2 upsets in these games with the way Minnesota matches up, and I hear you. So I'm scared to take that or to play with that game either, just because of Brian Flores' defense. And then, of course, if J.J. McCarthy does play, I don't give a damn about Detroit's defense. Ain't that good. It's not. So I'd be scared. I might have picked Minnesota to win the game if J.J. McCarthy was playing as 100%. And with Dallas, same kind of conversation. You go, man, if Mariota finds a way to play, Dallas's defense sucky ducky. I mean, Eberflus is going to be gone. I would be shocked if he's back. I'm going to go with the Denver Broncos. I'm just going to go with the one I know, and I know Sean Payton, they're going to want to put on a show, get back on track, screw those 12 points, right? I think they're going to kick ass. I got them winning by 18. You got them winning by what, 20? So, yeah, I'm going to ride the Broncos here with that
20.
one. Yeah, right. You'll be sweating.
You're right. Now that I think about it, I'm not going to change my pick.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. Okay.
As long as I get mine right, I don't care. I'm not changing. But think about this. I'm thinking about the influence of the betting public on the line. I think enough people, even though what was the percentage of the spread money on? I just think a lot of the bets, 91% of the spread money's on Denver. I think the line is lower than it could be because people still think the Chiefs are the Chiefs. And the Broncos are going to remind us on Thursday night, like as the Titans did on Sunday, the Chiefs are not the Chiefs anymore. They wear the same uniforms and helmets. They're not the same. All right, that's it for the special Christmas Games edition of Chris Simms Unbuttoned and PFTPM Joint Megapicks podcast. We will have a separate show with all of the other games for Week 17. We'll see you then. And
Merry Christmas to everybody. Have fun. Enjoy the games, right?
Merry
everybody
Christmas.
out there. Yeah, Merry Christmas,
that
you
too.
fucking Grinch. Yeah, that too. All right. Up yours,
Smoky,
drinky. Right, all day long, baby. Here we go. Yo, thanks for watching, homies. We are now in the NFL season here on Chris Simms Unbuttoned.
Hit subscribe to get our weekly picks, game recaps, film deep dives, and much, much more.
Thanks again for watching. Subscribe, rate, review. Peace out. You know where to find us.